Progress.
Okay. I'll call to order the city council meeting for Monday, November 1st. First thing will be an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Just ask for guidance tonight for all of us that are here and online, making the decisions that are in front of us, and for guidance as we move into the budget season this year. Also for anybody that's in the community suffering from COVID or any of the after effects of that. And then also for every member of our community that is serving in capacity in the military. Amen. Alderman Barron, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, all right. Next up on the agenda is roll call.
Miller,
Here.
Rosado,
Here.
Beck,
Here.
Connolly,
Here.
Chanzit,
Here.
Wolf,
Here.
Solfa,
Here.
Barron,
Here.
Lehman,
Here.
Ayazi,
Here.
Malay,
Here.
Ewer,
Here.
Cerrone,
Here.
Vogelsinger.
Here.
All present, Alderman Wolf.
All right, thank you. All right, up next is a reminder to please speak into the microphone for the BATV recording. And then up next would be item number 5, which is items to be removed, added, or changed. The only things we have tonight are items number 8 and number 10 will be removed. The public notice for that, for the hearing, is for November 8th. So we will have them next Monday night at the beginning of our budget meeting on November 8th at 7 p.m. We have to wait till 7:35 for that then on that meeting because that's what the published date or published time is. So that'll be in the middle of the meeting then. We'll have to stop
Yes.
and go to that. Okay.
7:30, after 7:35, you can have the hearing.
Okay. Any other changes?
No.
Okay. Then up next would be the consent agenda. Alderman Chanzit?
Alderman Wolf will need a vote.
To change the agenda. Okay.
And then also the, and Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, there's an associated ordinance that's on the agenda as well that is with the public hearing.
That's correct. Number 10,
Number
that
10,
can be removed.
Number 8 and number 10 would be
Yes.
removed. So
Right.
the public hearing will be moved and then ordinance 2161 would be moved. I'll make that motion that we move those two to match the public notice date of November 8th.
Second.
Motion by Wolf, second by Solfa. Roll call, please.
Wolf,
Aye.
Solfa,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Cerrone,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Connolly,
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
All in favor.
All right, that passes. Up next then would be the consent agenda. Alderman Chanzit.
The consent agenda reads as follows. To accept and place on file the Committee of the Whole minutes from September 14th, 2021, Historic Preservation Commission minutes from September 13th and September 21st, 2021, and approvals, the October 29th, 2021 payroll in the amount of $914,401.46, the accounts payable check register in the amount of $1,806,974.23, and the 2022 meeting calendar. I would move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Motion by Chanzit, second by Miller. Roll call, please.
Chanzit,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Solfa,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Connolly.
Aye.
All in favor.
All right, thank you. All right, up next is matters from the public for items not on the agenda tonight. Do we have anybody in the audience or anybody online? Okay. Seeing none, then we will move on to item number 9, Chamber of Commerce. And you only get 3 minutes because we got a really long agenda.
Got it. I'll talk super fast.
Times 10, you can take as much time as you want.
Thanks, Alan. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Margaret Perot, the President and CEO of the Batavia Chamber. I have a couple things to review today. I have my sideshow here. Thanks, guys. My backup singers. Give me just a second. First of all, I want to say, I want to talk about our partnership that the Batavia Chamber has with the Batavia Public Schools. Over the last several years, we have strengthened our bond to try to support the education that the students receive and help support our businesses in the community. We've partnered with local businesses and toured our manufacturing. We've encouraged a relationship with businesses hiring Batavia High School graduates for degreed and non-degreed positions like engineering, plumbing, financial planning, government, as I said, manufacturing, construction, education, and hospitality. At the beginning of this year, we selected businesses, professionals from our membership to work with BPS to form a focus group to formulate a list of must-have life skills or soft skills to help our next generation be good people and good employees. Recently, we worked with the Vocational Transition Program and supported the community-based placement program to find businesses in our town that would like to offer high school students with disabilities employment so that these individuals can receive real-world job experiences. Many local businesses, we were thrilled, jumped at the chance. On an ongoing basis, the Chamber has partnered with the High School Incubator Program so that the incubator students understand how the real world works in business and how the Chamber can provide services for their business to succeed in the future. Last month, the Chamber selected strong and successful women business representatives from our community to mentor and encourage female students to pursue upper-level business courses at the high school through a morning event called Women in Business Career Connections. Two of our strong business representatives that have partnered on the program, I will introduce in a few minutes. The Chamber is thrilled to always provide connections and support to BPS to help encourage our future business owners. As always, the Chamber is continuing to provide educational and networking opportunities to help our businesses thrive. We have a variety of upcoming in-person and virtual events, and I encourage everyone to join us. To get more details and to register for our events, go to bataviachamber.org. On Tuesday, tomorrow, November 2nd at 11:30, we will be hosting How to Start Your Own Podcast webinar. On Wednesday, November 3rd at 8 a.m., we have our monthly not-for-profit forum via Zoom. On Thursday, November 4th at 7:30 a.m., hopefully this is all on your calendars already, it's our mayor's breakfast, where the mayor will give us an update on the things that are happening in Batavia. That's at 7:30 a.m. at Lincoln Inn. On Wednesday, November 10th at 7:30 a.m., we have our morning networking called Batavia Chamber Breakfast Club at Comfort Inn and Suites. Everybody is welcome to join us. On November 10th at 11:30, we have COVID-10 vaccination mandates in the workplace. It's a webinar where we will have attorneys review how employers can implement policies in a legally compliant manner. On Wednesday, November 10th at 4 p.m., we're doing a ribbon cutting at the BHS Ecology Club Courtyard to celebrate the courtyard's transformation into a tranquil retreat for students, mental health breaks and reflection, a science and ecology club classroom, and service project opportunity for special needs students. On Tuesday, November 16th at 11 a.m., we have our town hall meeting with State Senator Don DeWitt. He will give us an update from Springfield following the fall veto session. On Wednesday, November 17th at 4:30 p.m., we have our networking at Windmill City Grill, and we will be spotlighting our partner charity, the Albright Theater, who will be giving tours. So come join us. On Tuesday, I want to throw this out there for next month. Tuesday, December 14th, is our Batavia Women in Business Holiday Luncheon. It will be held at Enticing Cuisine. As always, we will be collecting toys and gifts for the Batavia Toy Access Drive and the Batavia United Way Adopt-A-Family. Again, this year, the Chamber's Foyer is being a drop-off spot for Adopt-A-Family. And you can drop off toys and unwrapped toys and new items at any time between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Gift certificates have to come, or gift cards have to come into the chamber, so during regular business hours. I also want to give you advance notice for our Inspire Award ceremony that will be held on Thursday, January 22nd at Lincoln Inn. That's where we celebrate our Citizen of the Year and our OLI Award winners. The Citizen of the Year is given to someone whose services and dedication have made a significant contribution to our community. If you know somebody who lives or owns a business in Batavia, they qualify for this esteemed award if they've done something amazing. So, if you know somebody who qualifies, please send a nomination letter to the Chamber at 106 West Wilson or email it to me at margaret@bataviachamber.org. Nomination requests are due Friday, November 13th. With the holiday season quickly approaching, I want to remind you that the Chamber is still offering Chamber Bucks, gift certificates that are in $10 denominations. Again, this year, we are donating from the Chamber's budget an additional matching funds of $5,000 to inject additional funds and money into our local economy. So if you come in and buy $50 of Chamber Bucks, we will double it to a cap of $50 per household until we hit $5,000 additional dollars. The Chamber is a membership organization with over 450 members. We are here to promote a healthy business community. We work hard to advocate for, educate, and support relationship building for all of our members. If you know of a business that can benefit from the support of the Chamber, please have them reach out to us. We are always happy to help. I want to give a shout out to our new Chamber members, Shodine, Kamal's Passion Leather, Boy Scouts of America, Three Fires Council, and Aflac Independent Associate Jennifer Tracy. Before I introduce my esteemed guests, does anybody have any questions for me? No, covered it all? Great. Did I take long enough, Alan? Was that about right?
Perfect.
All right, now I would like to introduce Jenny and Susie from Light and Pine Collective, a burgeoning business in downtown Batavia. They began as an inaugural year at the Boardwalk Shops and now are having a thriving business at the Wilson Street Mercantile Exchange. So I'd like to invite them up to talk about their business. There you go. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for having us. We're happy to be here. I'm Jenny. I'm Susie. And for about 6 years now, we've both owned and operated our own individual handmade businesses, really just handcrafted home decor. And we noticed the Batavia Boardwalk Shops come around last spring, but we both are also raising families, and it wasn't something we wanted to jump in on our own. And so that's how our partnership was born. We decided to bond together. We opened a partnership LLC called Light and Pine Collective, which is really the hub for both of our existing small businesses, as well as a collection of 20 locally owned businesses by women with also handcrafted goods. So we did the Batavia Boardwalk Shops, thought it was amazing, and decided to do something more permanent.
Wrote mine down because I'm not as talented as Jenny with the public speaking. So after we graduated the Boardwalk Shops, we joined together with two other former Boardwalk Shop owners, Desmond Brown and the Unborn Granola, to create a new shopping destination in downtown Batavia named the Wilson Street Mercantile. The Mercantile is inside a historic building located at 222 East Wilson Street. There are 4 independently operating shops within the building, of which Light and Pine Collective is one. With our move to the Wilson Street Mercantile, we were able to expand our group of artisan vendors. We now offer products from more than 20 different local artisans, all of whom are women. Light and Pine Collective is a great place to shop for gifts, home decor, jewelry, and other personal accessories, as well as hand-poured candles, it's Jenny's territory, and natural bath and body products. We love introducing shoppers to the artists and makers living and working right here in Batavia. I'd like to highlight just a couple of them. I know we don't have time to go through all of them tonight, so I just wanted to mention, like, we have pottery from Chickadee Clays, fiber art from Sweet Bee Accessories, and fine art photography from Lauren K. McLeod, all of whom they live right here in Batavia. In addition to finding a home for our storefront inside Wilson Street Mercantile, Jenny and I also moved our workshops into the building, which means her candles and my woodworking pieces are produced a few steps away from where they are sold. Can't get more local than that. We are incredibly happy to have found a home here in Batavia for our business. And we both have deep connections to the community here and absolutely love Batavia. We hope that you'll all come and visit us at Light and Pine Collective, again, inside the Wilson Street Mercantile, 222 East Wilson. If you've already been in, thank you, and we'd love to see you again this holiday season. And please tell your friends, neighbors about us as well. We'd love to have everyone come in and see us and shop this holiday season. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Well, we thank you for coming down and, number one, telling us what you're doing and where you're doing it at. And I will tell you, I've recently had several mayors come to Batavia to visit because they've heard of all these different things we're doing, the boardwalk shop and your shop and whatever. Most recently, I had the newly elected mayor of Algonquin down here. And she and I walked the downtown and we got up into your place. She was very impressed by what you were offering and how you were doing it and thought it was a great idea. And I'm sure some people are taking these ideas back to their towns and trying to go out into the neighborhoods and find talented people such as yourselves who probably are trying to run a home industry and are asking us a lot of questions on how we afford this opportunity, how did we get it together, how did we get everything organized. And you know, I'm very proud of the group of citizens that really stepped forward and, number one, built the boardwalk shops, but then furthered it and came up with the idea of the mercantile and everything else. So we're probably to chapter 3 of what we're doing here for next year, so I'm anxious to see. But you guys are a secret to our success because you've got such unique and interesting products that people know are handmade and locally made and everything else, that it's an instant draw for folks. And I've had other people tell me they brought their relation down here from, you know, wherever they're living at. And I know I had somebody that was in here recently that had a daughter that lived out in Oak Brook. And they went in and saw what it was. And I just saw this person rather recently, and they said, well, they've seen now what's up there. So they got a cousin now coming from Tennessee in a few days, and one of the things they want to do is come to the mercantile shops and see what you got. So the word's spreading, and I appreciate what you're trying to do. So
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else, any comments or questions? Well, thank you. And let the record reflect that I entered the meeting about 7:40. I had some other moments of things I had to do, and I had contacted Alderman Wolf as Mayor Pro Tem and earlier and told him I may be a few minutes late. He said he would get the meeting started, so thank you, Alderman Wolf.
We got the meeting started and cut the meeting in half.
All right, very good.
Promptly cut the meeting in half, yes.
So I guess now we've been through the chamber, so we're now to item number 10, is that?
That's
correct?
one that we removed.
Oh, we removed it.
The public notice was for
that.
November 8th. So 8 and 10 got removed from the agenda tonight, so we're now down to the administrator's report.
Okay, we'll move to the administrator's report.
Good evening. So I don't have too many items for the weekly activity update, but what I do have are some important things to talk about. One is a really great opportunity for our community. Our wastewater superintendent, Byron Richardson, even in the early stages of COVID, had heard that in other communities that they were doing testing of the, what was coming through the wastewater treatment plant to monitor the amount of COVID-19 present in communities. And Byron continued to see when that might be available for the city of Batavia to participate in. And I'm happy to say that because he kept track of that, we are going to be part of a program that is through the Illinois Department of Public Health. And we are enrolled in a program to research and track COVID throughout the city's wastewater stream, and all funding is provided via grants, and only minimal staff time is required from us, and it will be an effort that will help to further research related to this applying in other communities and being able to catch further outbreaks early on in communities. So we're really proud to be part of that. Our streets and PPS crews are now performing leaf collection on a full-time basis, and that they'll continue to do that for the next several weeks. This week they're on the east side of town, and then next week they will be on the west side of town. And if you go to the Public Works page on the city website, there is an area where you can click on a map that will show you where the trucks have been and where they are yet to collect, so you can make sure that your leaves get picked up. It's important to have them out by 6:00 a.m. on the Monday of the week that leaves will be picked up. We do these 2 leaf collections, are the ordinary leaf collections, and then if weather is permitting, we will have one other pickup later in November as well. Work has begun on the 34 kV electric breaker replacement project. The contractor has started working in the southeast substation this past week. And also work is scheduled to begin to repair a water service line on Houston Street that recently failed. Wanted to share some good information that we received in Human Resources about the insurance rates for 2022. And I think this is part of the reason why it was good for us to make the change to IPBC and join a risk pool. The HMO plan received a reduction of 12.2% for next year, and the PPO received a 3.3% reduction for next year. It's just kind of extraordinary and not things that you ordinarily see when you go for like an individual employer going for coverage. So we were happy to see those numbers come back. On November 8th, we will have a special committee of the whole meeting. That's Monday night, and it's at 7:00, and that will be the initial review of the 2022 budget. And then also the following night on November 9th at 7:00, the ACCOW meeting will have a discussion about the dam and depot pond alternatives. The Park District has had some discussion, and as part of their discussions, they determined that they would like to see some type of impoundment on the, after the dam is removed on that side of the river. And so we will have a discussion as to whether City Council also would like to likewise see some type of impoundment once the dam is removed. Tomorrow night, we have a discussion in anticipation of discussing the budget next week. We will have the wage ordinance, and that was a suggestion from last year where we had the budget discussions and approval and then followed that with the wage ordinance. We're flip-flopping it this year so that we have that wage ordinance discussion first, budget discussion the following week, and then at future committee of the whole meetings and city council meetings, we can decide both things together. And let's see, just want to mention some of the things that the fire department has been involved with lately. They attended the DuPage Emergency Management Meeting, as well as State Terrorism and Intelligence Center meetings, the Wabansie Fire Service Advisory Meeting, and Metropolitan Fire Chiefs meeting. So they continue to not only do localized training with our nearby partners, but also on a regional and even statewide basis. That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me about particular projects.
Any questions of Laura? All right, going then to committee reports, Community Development, Alderman Wolf.
No report tonight, Your Honor.
Government Services, Alderman Chanzit.
No report, Your Honor.
Public Utilities, Alderman Sharon.
Nothing to report, Your Honor.
And I'm forgetting one.
Services.
City Services.
What?
City Services.
City Services?
Rosado.
Yes, and we will have two items on the agenda tomorrow. One is ordinance 2158, request for authorization of surplus property, and we have resolution 21102, authorizing mayor to execute an IGA with IDOT.
Anybody have?
That's all we have for tomorrow night.
Any questions on any of the committee reports? Okay, 13 other business. Do we have any other business?
I have some, Your Honor.
Alderman Wolf?
First off, just to congratulate the Bulldogs on their first round playoff win against Lake Zurich, 37-0 last Friday night. And they are on the road now, heading downtown Chicago to Jackson Park to play Mount Carmel. And that is on this Friday night at 7 p.m. Don't really know how many people we can get in stands down there, but I'm definitely going to say it's going to be overloaded with Batavia fans. And we're not sure on broadcasting yet whether or not we get to, whether an NFHS does it. We have not heard anything yet back, so.
What are they requesting an amount of money from us for you guys to broadcast?
No, that we hopefully will beat Mount Carmel, and then we'll have a chance at another home game, and then we'd need money for the next round. But we do have fees to cover. I don't know if we got all the money on Friday night for the last game, and if anybody wants to donate, you can do it on the website for BATV at mybatv.com, or you can send, if you want to send a check, you can send it out to the high school at 1201 West Main
Who
Street.
do they make it out to?
BATV.
BATV?
Yeah, just BATV is all they have to put on it.
Because
and-
I've had several citizens ask me about it.
Right.
And I heard what you were saying on the game on Friday night,
Yeah.
so I heard, other people heard that.
Right.
So I think there are some people waiting to know where to put.
Right, and if they want to send a check, that's the easiest way to send it to BATV care at the high school, Batavia High School at 1201 West Main Street, and then it'll get through the mail to them. If they want to do it online, they can do it at mybatv.com. There's a donate button. And then anything that comes in around the playoff times, if it's more money than what we use for the playoffs, it just sits in an account for the playoffs for next year. So
I mean,
that's
do
what we've
we-
used it for.
Do we have some money in an account now, or?
I'm sure there's a couple $100 in it, but that probably might cover the first round, and they go up exponentially as it goes through the future rounds in it. And we have to pay to stream it, and we pay for highlights. Any of the coverage that BATV does of any of the playoff series, you have to pay the IHSA for rights for it.
Right.
So that's the reality of it. And I'm not sure where the fees are this year. I haven't seen the schedule of fees.
Well, as you've heard me say several times, you and Mr. Lundberg have quite a fan club. And there's a lot of people very interested in this game now for Friday night. So I think I'll be sending somebody up to
Yeah.
make some donations
Yeah,
the next year or
and
two.
if we can in any way, shape, or form broadcast it, we're gonna try and do that. We're trying to work out a deal with NFHS so that we can give them our broadcast, and they can use that on their network if they would like. So I'm really not sure what Mount Carmel does and what they'll allow. So the school has the rights over that. If they have a contract already with NFHS, they'll probably have to use their broadcasters, but we should be able to get in and at least do highlights down there.
So as some of the members of the city council probably heard, when the Bulldogs won their conference championship 2 games ago, 2 weeks Friday night, we set up a little escort of the team when they came back into Batavia, thanks to the efforts of the police department and the fire department. And both agencies met the buses up at Campana. They were sitting up there in the circle. And the buses came down, and the squad went out in the street, and the fire truck went out in the street, and then we had the squad foul. We had 4 buses in the entourage, and they took them down Batavia Avenue with red lights going and everything, and then went down to Main Street and took them out to the Main Street side of the high school. So I think they were very pleased to see that, and,
Did it the next morning for the band, to send the band to state
Yeah.
too, didn't we?
yeah, I think we did, yeah.
Sent
So,
the marching
so
Bulldogs
I'm
out.
assuming that Friday night, I'll have set something up with Coach Pirons to call back and tell us about what time we'll be back, and we'll probably try to, you know, when it gets to be 11 o'clock on a Friday night, it's hard to blow sirens that you don't wake somebody up or get some, but we can turn the red lights on. I mean, it's the same thing at that time.
I think everybody will understand if we can beat Mount Carmel.
Right, right. So anyway, I think we'll probably try to do something, hopefully, and get something going there. And when will the I've had people ask me, the championship game will be played the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend?
Yeah, Saturday of Thanksgiving week.
Where's it gonna be played at?
DeKalb this year.
Oh, at DeKalb.
It'll be at DeKalb, so hopefully things work out right, we can be out there again. So,
Well, we've been there before.
yep.
And we've come back the champion.
And we don't have to go through Nazareth to get there, so I'm feeling much better about this playoffs.
Okay, well, that's all good stuff. I was gonna hurry back here so I could be here to ask you those questions, because I think there's a lot of people, you got a lot of fans. I find that a lot of the old Batavians that are still around really like to see us winning
Well, it keeps
team.
people connected. I think it's really interesting too, because when you get to the playoffs, you see a lot of people that graduated 20, 30, 40 years ago that show up at those games because they've been watching football games all season long.
Right.
And when they get the chance, especially for a state championship,
Yeah.
they show up. You know, they show up at the stadiums, they show up at the away games. And we hear stories all the time of people that have been watching for a year or two, and then when they get to the playoffs, hey, it happens to be where my kids live, and, you know, I'm gonna go see the game. So they went and watched the game there. So it's really been an interesting thing to see how that's kept people connected to high school sports in this town.
Oh, good. All right, I guess the last thing on the business is my report.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Alderman Malay here. I just raised my hand. I just wanted to add that the girls cross country team 2 weeks ago, or last Saturday, or 2 Saturdays ago, took first in region. They just took fifth in sectional on this past Saturday in Hinsdale, and they're heading to state on Saturday
Great.
for the 8th year in a row.
You'll need to have somebody keep us apprised, and when they come back, we can do some kind of escort for them too, if we know where and when.
And I believe,
We'll do.
I believe we also have one boys qualifier. Wasn't Quentin Lowe, didn't he make state?
Correct.
For
Correct.
cross-country as well?
As an individual, yes.
Yeah.
Alderman Malay, what day would that be on? This coming Saturday or
Saturday the 6th in Peoria.
Saturday?
At Weiler Park.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay, just quickly on the mayor's report, I just have a couple of things I'd like to share. I had a citizen come down here the other day and wanted to thank me, and I said, well, I don't deserve the thanks. If nothing else, it goes to the city council because they're the ones that approved it. But he had just gotten his latest home insurance bill, and he noticed there had been a decrease in his fire insurance rating. And so he called his insurance agents and said, why is that? And they said, well, Batavia's fire department just got rated an ISO Class 1, which is a good, best rating you can have in the insurance world for fire department. Now, that was probably more than a year ago that that happened, but as the guy explained, it takes the insurance world a little bit of a time to get themselves understanding what this has happened and whatever. So I think there will be other citizens in town that will probably see a reduction in their fire insurance rating for their house. So if somebody says something to you, that's how it all came about. All fire departments in the state of Illinois are rated by what they call the Insurance Services Office. They come to the town, they come in and they spend 4 or 5 days here and they look at everything, the condition of the trucks. They pay a lot of attention to public works issues like how close the fire hydrants are to one another, the size of the fire hydrants, the condition of them. And then they also look at the water supply and the water tanks. And when we had our last ISO inspection, it was right after we'd gotten the new west side water tank developed. And that had been our weakness over there on the southwest side with water. And with that new tank, we got as much water as we ever needed. So that really kind of helped bring our ISO rating into a ISO Class 1. So just wanted to let you know, Laura already mentioned some good stuff that's happened with some of the city departments. Well, here's another benefit from it. The other thing I just wanted to share with you, as you know, I do serve as chairman of the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning's Council of Mayors, which covers all 284 cities and villages in the 7-county area that surrounds Chicago, including the city of Chicago. And we've had the opportunity in the last few weeks to have some direct conversation with the U.S. Census Bureau. And there's a lot of cities that are very concerned about their counts in the last census. I'll only talk about ourselves here. When they counted Batavia, they're trying to tell me, they told me, I don't know if I believe it, that Batavia grew between 2010 and 2020 by 74 people. That was the total growth in the 10-year period in Batavia. Now, in that 10-year period, starters, we built 55 houses out there in Tanglewood, Unit 5, right off of Deer Path Road, so there's well more than 74 people living in those houses. We don't know if any houses, quite honestly, they're sitting abandoned, they're just not, like some areas, nobody's living in it. So we're scratching our head here, and now the city of Aurora has a big problem in this arena. They've lost supposedly thousands of people. And when you figure that the state income tax is credited to each city on a per capita basis as to how many people you got, I don't know, the number is someplace between $114 and $121 per person the state income tax pays each city. So you take 17,000 people away from the city of Aurora and multiply that by $121, that's a lot of money. And so the city of Aurora is betwixt and between about this whole thing, to put it politely. So we've been asking for a meeting with the Census Bureau, and finally we had a couple, I will give them credit, they tried to talk to us. They had some technology issues and some other stuff, so finally on the third time we were able to get together with them, and the question came, when will you allow us to budget and have our own special census that will be countable and we'll get to credit to whatever the real number is for growth? So they told us in the call that they're not going to authorize any special censuses till 2023. So we're going to have to wait better than another year and a half roughly before they're going to let us have a special census. But I've already told some folks, Laura and I have talked about it, that we don't need to put it in this 2022 budget, but in the 2023 budget, I'm going to be standing here screaming, we need to put a special census in that budget, because, if you start doing the numbers in your head out there at Wind Energy and Kirk Road there at MI Homes, they got permission to build 242 townhouses, of which I believe about half of them are now built, if not more than half. Then we've got, we got the landings out there on Fabian Parkway, and that's, a number of units that are not, weren't counted before, but they would be under a new special. And then we've got, we've finally completed Unit 5 out there in Tanglewood, so that will all be counted. There's a lot of different things. We got the Windmill Manor out behind Walmart. That's another new one. So we got a lot of new faces in town that we need to have counted. And so I think the best guess, and I think the staff is going to try to work on this, Laura and I talked about this too, of giving ourselves an estimate as to how many people we think have come into Batavia. And I would suggest that it's well more than 1,000 new people that we got coming in here. So I'm going to really encourage us to do that special census in 2023. And that when they come in and hire our people, and they do go door to door, and they find out where everybody's living and how many are in the place and whatever. So just so you know, we're going to try to get our number back where it should be, because we didn't lose people, but to tell me we only gained 74 in 10 years, hard for me to believe that. So I just want you to know what's going on with that. So that's my report for the night. No other business. Alderman Wolf, you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the city council meeting.
Second. Moved by Alderman Wolf, second by Alderman Sofa, that we adjourn the city council meeting. Clerk, take a voice vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.